The aircraft became dispersed around the airfields, making the refuelling and maintenance more arduous and time-consuming, but safer in an air attack. These were busy times. Loads of up to 7,500 pounds, which is 3.5 tons, were not uncommon for routine, long-distance supply flights. Senior aircraftmen Bill Smart and Jack Galt were just two of the 31 Squadron flight coordinating team. I knew Bill and Jack very well. They were both coordinators on the squadron, working from a small shed just out at the end of the squadron precinct, and they were both subject to the Official Secrets Act, working as they did with aircraft supply dropping to the Chindits in the remote parts of Burma, and obviously not wishing to let Japanese intelligence know anything about the proposed routes. They spent hours each day in direct communication with the aircraft in flight, coordinating the supply chain to Chindit columns on the move behind Japanese lines, and of course our defending forces who were exercising a strategic retreat. The DZ locations moved for many reasons during the course of a 1 to 3 hour outward flight to a drop. It is important to understand that the RAF squadron was an integrated entity. Suppliers, clerks, police, medics and aircraft engineers with their aircrews made them autonomous units. Allied troops retreated into the Kohima complex and set up the defensive arrangements, which were thankfully adapted to a higher standard by the West Kents when they arrived from their rest and recuperation after defending in the Arakan. Many different units were involved, roughly 1,500 fighting and 1,500 non-combatant troops. It is what happened next that forms the focus of the supply operation to that area. The road from Dimapur had been cut, which meant that the Japanese had closed every land route into Kohima, effectively denying any land-orientated supply. Now, this was a battle of 30,000 Japanese, a fighting force of fearless individuals that had an even more desperate logistical supply problem in maintaining their soldiers. They pitched their strength against the Kohima complex of fighters on an array of topographically high points and an airborne supply system. Thanks to the Arakan experience, most of our flights in and out of Kohima were free of any interference. Air superiority was ours. The revived air combat capability provided by Indian Air Force fighter, reconnaissance and ground attack squadrons was a real boon, and their crews enthusiastically assisted the RAF and American Air Forces. The wide-ranging Allied squadrons were now working from well over 150 airfields, most of which had been constructed during the monsoon season in 1943. That enabled us to put forward a superior force to the Japanese and force them back down into the eastern area of Burma. Whilst vigilance was important, interference with air supply missions from air attack became less of a problem.